I want you to stand up. I want you to look at yourself. If you have a mirror, this would be a great way to use it. How are you standing? Are your knees locked, rib cage out, head kind of forward, shoulders rounded, or any combination thereof? Can you get to your left side, weight in your heel without your knee locking, and kind of let that left side relax into itself? What about the right? When you're in those postures, there's no such thing, and I know this is going to sound crazy, but as bad posture. There's just no such thing. There are postures that are more conducive to the activities that we're trying to do, and there are postures that are less. The only real bad posture is posture you can't get out of. If you're stuck here, or some combination thereof, that's when we start to run into problems, because if you can't get out of it, every time you try to move, you are going to move from that position, and muscles and joints and everything, they're just not in an orientation to move that well. So this class, or this portion of the education, is meant to inform you about the actual functionality of your diaphragm, your rib cage, and your pelvis, and how they work together to take pressure off your neck, your knees, your hips, your ankles, all of the different things that are probably aching right now. All right? I want you to try to get to your left heel. Okay? Get over here on your left heel with your toes pointing straight ahead. Notice what your body does when you get here. Now I want you to exhale. Just now breathe in. Take a nice, big, relaxing breath. Okay? Now I want you to try to stand on both feet, lock your knees, try to stand up as tall as you can with a straight back, like finishing school posture. Try to take a big deep breath here. First exhale. It's short. Try to breathe in. It's short. You can't really get a good breath. Your normal daily life posture should look like this. Relax into one side, weight in your heel, rib cage is kind of down, like you look a little slouched, it looks a little just like kind of chill, but you can breathe so easily here. It's so relaxing. You're not holding on to tension, you're just hanging. You might notice if you try to do this on your left side, you're feeling some tension in that left side hip. If you try to do it on your right, you could probably be here all day without that knee locking, hanging out. The other posture that's more like a survival posture, you're gonna need to run, sprint, jump, get away from predators, is like knees locked or just short of locked, your tension's in your quads, your weight's in your forefoot, and it's hard to kind of take big breaths because in this position, you need to take off running. You don't need to take big relaxing breaths, you need to run. The thing is, living in that posture is not conducive to actually relaxing, tuning down, and letting go of tension. It's not. So if you're living your life constantly trying to stretch your quads, your calves, your hip flexors, all of that stuff, you're probably spending way more time in that survival posture than you actually even think you are. So we have two different sides of our diaphragm. The right side is huge, super strong, and constantly kind of pulls us in this orientation. If you are standing naked in front of a mirror, I'm willing to bet that your right side rib cage is a little bit lower than your left side. Left side's kind of sticking out a little bit. And that's because the left side diaphragm is much smaller. It's much narrower, and it doesn't have as much leverage to pull us. There's a lot of vital organs on our left side of our body. There's just not as much real estate for a big, giant muscle like we have on the right. And so what that ends up doing is it forces us to the right, and then we compensate to get to the left. We have to try to get over here. And when we try to get over here, we either compensate efficiently and effectively, and we have no pain, or we compensate a little bit less efficiently, and we start to develop pain. Left side sciatica, right side knee pain, tight hips, shoulder issues, neck issues, all of these things can be attributed to these side-by-side comparisons and the way we cheat to get from one to the other. Next time you go for a walk, I want you to pay attention to the way you're walking. Are you walking evenly from side to side? Or are you falling off your left to your right? Are you bending your elbow to swing yourself over? These classes are going to have a massive impact on the way your body feels at rest and how you try to move out from there. We'll continue to expand on this information because obviously it's very complex and we want to try to put as much of this in front of you as we can, but also make it digestible. So I hope this was helpful. If you had any big aha moments, throw it in the class reaction section. When you take inventory of how you're feeling now, you're going to be able to recognize how much changes when you start to take these classes.